Hello and welcome to this edition of Reporters on France 24, the weekly magazine featuring in-depth stories from correspondents around the world. I'm Andrea Sankey. This week, a look at China's extraordinary economy and the consequences of mixing capitalism with communism. Opening China's markets has given countless earning opportunities to entrepreneurs as well as ordinary workers. But under China's authoritarian leadership, workers' rights have mostly fallen by the wayside. The health of laborers in some of China's growing industries is slowly getting more attention, but only as the media carefully zones in. Here now, a report on the industry of recycling electronic waste, where profit has compromised the health of an entire village.
Deep in the heart of China is the world's biggest electronic waste dump. It's an area usually closed off to visitors. Thousands of workers live amongst mountains of computers, cables and electronic parts. Soil pollution levels up to 180 times higher than the limit set by the World Health Organization.
It's just like hell. You are breathing these airs, it's blue color, and the smokes, and all these children who are running around, even, you get this fire under some kind of metal things, and melting these, metal, and whoever there, you get sick after a while.
The village of Guiyu is 3,000 kilometres south of Beijing. It's not a welcoming place for foreigners or cameras. There are no work controls in place here, where computer waste from all over the world is stripped down, sorted and burned. Computers, printers and mobile phones are all recycled and resold by the kilo. The dirty work is done by some 100,000 migrants, peasants with no land, no voice and no rights. These new castaways of the Chinese economic miracle put their lives at risk for less than €1.5 a day. Lead, mercury and copper particles either go up in smoke or seep into the ground to the water table. The air, earth and water have all been contaminated. And no one at Guiyu wants to answer our questions. The workers are caught between exploitative bosses and an authoritarian state. But we do find one person willing to break the silence, a doctor at the local hospital.
We
did a survey of hundreds of workers. The results were dreadful. Most of them can't sleep, suffer from insomnia, have strong headaches and serious problems of the nervous system. We also did a survey of 160 children aged 1 to 5 who lived at Guiyu. Blood samples showed that 80% of them were affected by lead poisoning.
Caused by the inhalation and ingestion of lead particles, the toxic condition is a source of serious health problems. The doctor takes a risk in speaking openly with us. Freedom of speech is still restricted under Communist Party rule. Even an organisation like Greenpeace must weigh its words.
With the computer boom during the 90s, people realized they could make money recovering the metals used in computers. Today the recycling chain is very well organized. When traders want to buy primary materials or recycled products, they know where to find them because everything is well compartmentalized. These traders come, for example, to Guiyu to buy plastic or telephone parts.
In an open-air workshop, there's no protection as workers destroy these motherboards. This recycling is banned by the authorities. For that matter, officially it doesn't exist. Hong Kong is a consumer paradise for high-tech products. Speech here is freer, and one labour activist is causing a stir. He says the dump at Guiyu is the result of China's bad mix of capitalism with communism. In his words, the unsuitable marriage of free market economics under a communist dictatorship.
The government's supposed to do the public education about what the workers supposed to be aware of when you're working. They have this connection with these, little illegal or legal business bosses, and the bosses are paying these local government officials, and the officials want to keep these workers quiet.
Merchandise arrives in Hong Kong from all over the world. And every day, thousands of used computers from the United States, Europe and the rest of Asia quietly transit here before heading to Guiyu. The former British colony serves as a kind of open doorway into China.
Most of them comes from foreign countries, including European areas and also America and Japan. These waste are being dumped by the users there, and then they sell it through internet or other means, and then being shipped in containers and being shipped to this area to mainland China. Many of them have to go through Hong Kong because the law in Hong Kong is less strict than mainland China.
On top of the legal haze is a conveniently porous border. This storage centre holds American, Japanese and European material destined for the mainland. Domestic recycling in these countries is considered too pricey, and so they export their waste to China. But international conventions are flouted, and it's the residents of Guiyu who pay the price.
You really want to know what I think? At one point or another, these countries need to stop exporting their computer waste to China. For the health of those who live here, the international community has to do something so that our children can one day recover a blue sky and white clouds.
But there's also a role for Beijing to play in weighing in on the fate of hundreds of thousands of migrant workers by tackling local corruption and making the environment a top government priority.
Now, for the second part of our program, while some Chinese industry spells ecological disaster for the country, other businesses put the world's most populous nation on a much greener path. Environment-minded companies are booming in China as entrepreneurs discover that protecting nature can also be profitable. Here now, a look at some of China's green business ventures.
This is the richest man of China. He did not succeed in real estate or data processing, but he did in the solar panel business. Dr. Shi Zhenzhong founded Suntec Power Company in 2001 with the financial help of the Chinese government. The company's rise is impressive, with a growth of 100% per year. Suntec has become one of the world's solar energy giants. By 2005, Suntec was quoted on the New York Stock Exchange, and now Dr. Shi possesses an estimated fortune of $1.5 billion. Today, China is the third largest solar panel manufacturer. 90% of production is exported.
We want to convince the government that solar energy is the solution. But today, everyone considers the equipment is too expensive. Policymakers and the public need to be convinced that renewable energies are imperative to protect the environment. This will lead to the government offering financial incentives.
Beijing wants to be viewed as green. The government insisted the Olympic Stadium be fitted with 1,100 Suntec solar panels. But this public relations operation must not hide the real China. The country is one of the most polluted in the world. Massive industrialization and the boom of the automobile industry are some of the causes. But the main one is the usage of coal. That provides 2/3 of the country's energy needs. It causes acid rain, that in turn causes infantile mortality, respiratory diseases and chemical poisoning. So, the priority is treatment of pollution. In this market, the winning ones are foreign firms, and particularly the French.
You see, we are on the banks of the Hongpao River. It separates Shanghai in two parts, Puxi and Pudong. We are the Pudong Water Corporation. That is to say, we serve 2.6 million inhabitants and an important number of industrial and commercial enterprises. Pudong is the commercial hub of Shanghai.
Pudong Water Corporation uses technology that is as advanced as that in Europe.
This is untreated water from the Hongpao River. At this level, we add coagulant. It will allow the formation of what's called floc. Then, while water circulates in these pools, the balls of floc will deposit themselves at the far end, waiting for the next collection.
A double advantage for China, protecting the environment and benefiting from a technology transfer. To save time, the government is really pushing for green foreign businesses to come and set up. Besides the immediate necessary treatments, China is investing in the long term. Although starting late, by 2020, the government aims for green technologies to supply 16% of China's energy needs, prompting enormous growth in the green sector.
Last year, the flow of investment in China's market of renewable energies trebled. This is the sector with the strongest investment growth, surpassing the information technology and real estate sectors, even the traditional energy markets.
Among the sectors in vogue, the government's current favorite is biomass, a procedure that uses the combustion of agricultural waste, such as that of rice, corn or cotton, to produce electricity. An alternative to coal, biomass is considered the energy of the future.
With this combustible piece, one can produce energy for households and also for industries, replacing traditional energies.
Another advantage of biomass is the way it benefits the Chinese peasants.
Here I am putting combustible biomass in this oven. The fire will soon start up. What is convenient with this oven? That the flame lasts a very long time. With this quantity, one can cook for 4 people. Our life improves. It comes close to the standard of life of city dwellers. A little more comfortable. Before we lived in dirt engulfed. With the smoke of coal, with this oven, we are healthier.
To invest in clean energies is the first step. China is also encouraging energy-saving projects. In this industrial park, the buildings consume a third of the energy used by traditional buildings.
These automatic vents control the heat better.
For thermal insulation, a green space on the roof absorbs solar rays.
The green roofs are part of the energy-saving techniques we develop. When it's extremely hot, it lowers the temperature in the building and makes it more pleasant. The green roof serves as a coffee garden and so improves the working environment for the employees.
The long-term goal is to change the mentality and convince the Chinese top managers that economical effectiveness goes hand in hand with protection of the environment.
The best way to convince everyone of the importance of saving energy in offices is to emphasize that the temperature can be more pleasant, the air conditioning ventilation cleaner, and the workforce healthier. That is the only way to make people accept that energy-saving technologies are beneficial both for the efficiency of the businesses and the employees.
By 2010, on the island of Chongming, a pilot city promises to be the hub of the most advanced green technologies. It would be the world's first ecological city with 80,000 inhabitants by 2020. Using solar panels and windmills, it will be self-sufficient in energy with zero pollution. It also wants to attract high-tech businesses. China is a paradox. It sacrifices the environment. But if the Chongming experiment is successful, it would set an example for urban development the world over.
And that is all for this edition of Reporters on France 24. Remember, if you'd like more information on our program, you can always log on to our website at france24.com and click on Special Reports. Until next week, then, I'm Andrea Sankey. Thanks for joining us.